It's Brian Preston, the money guy.
I'm excited to talk about level 5 because this one, if you've ever thought that, hey, Brian and Bo would be great guys to either go to a sporting event, drink a beer with, or sit around a campfire and talk about stories, man, get us talking about abundance because we spend a lot of time thinking about what is money. How do you maximize it as a tool, but also make sure it doesn't take you away from understanding what's your purpose, what's your why. What are we even on this planet to do? Because abundance is a powerful, powerful concept. And we already heard freedom is what the typical person aspires to for financial independence. So if we go into abundance, and this led to a lot of discussion when we were doing content meetings. And I got to tell you, I evolved in this discussion is because at first I was thinking, well, this has to be about net worth.
Surely, yeah. Abundance must be this much money.
$10 million, $20 million,
$100 million.
Yeah, I mean, it could be anything. And then we're like, no, that's actually no, because that doesn't work. That doesn't make sense. And then we're like, okay, well, it's a goal achievement because maybe if we said, hey, it's step 3, you don't have to worry about the latte effect, and then step 4, you no longer have to work. Then maybe abundance is going to be you now do private jets.
That's right.
Because this is the next stage. Financial freedom, you don't have to be loaded to be financially free. So maybe this is private jets. Maybe this is people who've got 3 or 4 homes, or they're the CEOs of companies. And we're like, no, that doesn't make sense either because, and here's why. Wealthy people can still be extremely depressed. And I was like, wait a minute. You're telling me somebody can get to freedom, the 4th level of wealth, and not be happy? And I'm like, yes. So this is something that I think is so powerful for people to understand is that you can be wealthy and be depressed. And you're thinking, well, wait a minute. I thought if I can do what you want, when you want, how you want, I'm done. Yep. I'm out of this. But no, let me give you some stats that will blow your mind. If this was about dollar amounts, you wouldn't have stats like this. CEOs are depressed at more than double the rate of the general public, which is already around 20%. So that means about 40% of CEOs are actually depressed.
Which you wouldn't think because they have nothing but freedom. They have plenty of money. They have all the trappings of what success would look like, and yet they still fall into depression.
We're girl dads. Let me tell you one that's going to blow your mind and scare you to death. Rich kids are more depressed and anxious than their middle or low income peers.
That's terrifying. I don't understand that. That's terrifying.
More common in wealthy countries than in less wealthy and less industrialized ones, meaning that poorer countries than the United States are actually
less depressed.
They're less depressed, which in my mind means that they're probably happier. I mean, you go to Jimmy John's, and I think you go in their bathroom. I'm sure they probably update them, but they always have that whole thing about the fisherman, about the rich hedge fund guy that is saving and investing so he can go buy the big fishing boat, and then he thinks he's going to fish in retirement and be super happy. Meanwhile, the fisherman that he meets in this village that he's on vacation for is like,
I'm already doing that.
This is kind of all the things I'm doing. So it really is, I'm telling you, abundance is different than freedom because it is not about a dollar amount. It's not about the math, and that's hard for two analytical guys to talk about. This is mindset. This is understanding where is the wisdom with wealth creation? Where is the attitude with it? You got to go beyond just the numbers.
And here's what I think is sad, and this is just because this is what we do this professionally. Very few people, in our opinion, actually make it to abundance. A lot of folks make it to freedom. A lot of folks are able to do those things, but few people are able to clearly define what we would call is being in the abundance phase of life. And that's knowing who you are, knowing what you value, and knowing what brings you purpose. That's not a monetary thing. That's not a million, a 2 million, a 5 million, a 10 million. It is much deeper and I think much more important and impactful than that.
Well, yeah, I mean, because purpose, your why. I shared when we were doing level 1, when you're just talking about basic stability, that you hear the stat all the time that $70,000 to $75,000 is the happiness income that people need to cover the basics. I'm telling you, that's not true happiness. True happiness to me is fulfillment, meaning that when you wake up in the morning, You know what you were put on this planet to do, and you're doing it. It's not about a dollar amount. Like I said, I used to daydream in my 20s that when I get to 55, I'm out of this thing. And now I can't imagine retiring at 55. We got too much work to do. We're creating too much fun stuff that's making the world a better place. We're going to keep doing this. That's purpose. That is something that I think that people, it goes beyond freedom, which is meaning you have enough money in the bank. Abundance is you know why you're put on this planet to do what you're doing.
So, all right. So how do I know if I'm in this phase? How do I know if I'm doing it right? Well, here's the first sort of sign. Instead of wanting greater and greater things, even though you can afford the bigger house, maybe you don't buy the bigger house. Even though you can go get the yacht, maybe you don't really want the yacht. Even though you can fill in the blank, you may not choose to do that because you have a feeling of being content and a feeling of being satisfied. It's not this constant desire. I think I even saw somebody put this in the comments. Oh, well, yeah, the problem is when you get to 10 million, then you got to get to 20 million. And then you got to, at some point you recognize, yeah, maybe that's not what the goal ought to be. And then you focus on what you love and what makes you happy. It's no longer about the dollars and the cents and the wealth. It's about the thing that actually gets you out of bed in the morning. The thing, just like you said, Brian, that gives you purpose and fulfillment on this earth. When you figure that out, you're at the abundance phase where you've built a level of wealth that allows you to spend your time focusing and diving into that.
Well, and we've talked about this on other shows, is that the real research on that happiness, aka fulfillment, is you're focusing your time and your resources on your relationships and your friends.
Yep.
You're focusing it on giving. You're focusing on how do you make the world a better place. That's the stuff that gets me so excited to kind of really take it to the next level, to go from freedom, which, like I said, most people are thinking that's the mic drop moment that you're aspiring to. I'm telling you, there's a whole nother stage, bonus points when you get to abundance, because you just feel so purposeful. And you're probably trying to figure out, what is this I've stumbled into? I don't understand. You guys, you're financial advisors, you're creating all this free content. There's a reason I named this the abundance cycle. I want you to come learn, apply, grow, reach a level of success that you realize there is no way I can do this on my own. I'm going to need somebody to help manage this because I don't know what I don't know. I'm too busy to make good decisions. And that's where hopefully this abundance cycle will create a graduation point where you'll take our relationship to the next level and work with one of our advisors, because we work with people all across the country trying to help them maximize all 5 levels of the wealth creation process.
So if you are interested in taking our relationship next level, go check out our website, aboundwealth.com or moneyguy.com. Check out the Work With Us page. Or maybe you're not ready for that point yet. You're still in one of the earlier stages of wealth and you're just looking for some really great resources to help you along. Go check out moneyguy.com/resources. We have tons of free deliverables out there, including our financial order of operations deliverable that will help you take your finances to the next level. Or if you even want a deeper dive, you can go check out our course at learn.moneyguy.com and you can actually walk through a personally curated course of exactly what you should be doing with your next dollar.
Guys, thanks so much. I'm your host, Brian Preston, Mr. Bo Hansen, Money Guy team, Abundance Cycle, 5 levels of wealth, out.